Good morning, Monday morning. It's been around a week and a half since I vlogged because of Passover, but I'm making up for lost time because today's going to be completely and utterly insane, heading to Rothschild now to meet with a company that's building a marketplace for swag. I kid you not. And then a long overdue meeting with Merav from Verizon Ventures. We've been saying for years that we're going to meet. Very pumped to meet her. And then I'm catching up with an old friend, Dana. Then having lunch with Chedva, a very fascinating entrepreneur who's been on the vlog before. She is ultra-Orthodox and leading a company that is signing deals with the biggest companies out there. Then having a catch-up session with my boy Eric Reiner from Sinai VC, and that's only some of the meetings that I have today. It's going to be jam-packed 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. Here we go. I made it to Rothschild Boulevard, which is parking hell basically, and I pinged Epistema, my boy Tzvika, and he hooked me up with parking here at Epistema HQ. Parking on Rothschild. It's all about who you know. Thanks, dude. Shout out to my boy Clark Valberg, CEO of Envision, whose birthday it is today, and I just sent him a message. Let's see if you can watch this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, brother, from Rothschild Boulevard. Love you, man. See you soon, hopefully. Hopefully it's going to be a special day for you, my friend. Clark Valberg is a really special individual. And I'm not talking about the fact that he's the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company that is sought after by the top VCs in the world, or a company that owns its space completely, Envision. Oh, look at that. I'm actually wearing his socks. Total coincidence. I'm not talking about that, though. The guy is just a ubermensch, zero ego, good friend, just a special dude. Big shout out. Happy birthday, my friend. My fair share of sophisticated startup pitches. You know, AI for this, AI for that, machine learning, and all the other buzzwords that basically mean nothing. I don't think I've ever heard a simpler startup pitch than this startup I'm sitting with right now. What is the name of your company?
Brandable.
Brandable. What is Brandable?
Brandable is a marketplace for swag.
That's it?
Yes.
A marketplace for swag. Every company needs swag. Every influencer needs merch. Everybody's doing, promotional, branded content, and they're using like old school vendors. He's building a marketplace of supply on one hand, demand on the other, and just to give you a couple of examples. What? Check this out. Look at this. What do we think? That's cool, and we got, so you work with Google officially, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what else we got here?
We have socks from WeWork.
WeWork socks. What? All right, so the bottom line is real quick, you had an agency before, right?
Yeah, for 2 years.
Okay.
We're working with big companies and small in Israel.
Right.
And out of this space, we've learned the problems, and we started thinking of a marketplace.
Okay.
And we're developing right now to launch in the US later this year.
And you're in Techstars?
We're in Techstar Accelerator with Barclays.
How did you hear about me? Because that's a funny story. You got to mention it.
We had the most random meeting with someone who wants to be our mentor, and he said, you have to meet Hillel. He's the king of swag.
I'll take it. King of swag. I'm adding that to my bio. Anyway, dude, I got to run to my next meeting. This was awesome. Thank you very much for the sunglasses and the socks. And anything I do to help, let me know, all right?
Thanks, Hillel.
Your website right now is not live for the platform yet.
You can go to brandable.io to see the design.
Brandable.io.
But we're working on it, and it'll be great.
Coming soon.
Yes.
The theater is near you. Thanks, dude. We got an Apple T and Google glasses. That's like gonna create an explosion in the universe, but a marketplace for branded content. I love it. I think it's a really cool idea. I'm gonna help them. Heading to meet Merav at Verizon Ventures, one of the more interesting global VCs that has set up shop here in Israel. A couple of years been wanting to meet. Pretty pumped to meet her. Doubt I'll be able to get her on camera though. We'll see. Gonna try. So as meetings go, this was quite a unique one. So I'll tell you, listen, I don't know about you, but I've wanted to meet with you for a really long time. I've been following your career. You're a fascinating woman. I think you've done incredible things. We're not going to talk, rich history, Better Place, one of the more fascinating companies in Israel, very polarizing. People either love it or hate it, not going to go into it. But Verizon, Verizon Ventures, where you are right now, is a very unique venture capital firm for a whole bunch of reasons. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Who are you? What's your name? What do you do?
My name is Merav, and right now I run the Verizon Ventures team out of Israel.
Who is Verizon Ventures?
Verizon Ventures is Verizon corporate venture capital team. We're part of Verizon. It's not a separate fund. We invest money out of Verizon's balance sheet in startups that are strategically relevant to Verizon.
Interesting. Okay.
Given that Verizon is one of the largest telco in the world.
What number, by the way?
One.
It's number one?
I think so.
Really?
Either one or two.
But
Depends
Verizon
who you ask.
is swallowed up like everybody, Verizon.
So
AOL, Yahoo,
Yeah, so we're basically, if you want to think about telcos, the basic things they do is connectivity.
Right.
And then given that everything is connected today, there are a lot of platforms and services that sit up, on top of the connectivity that are, very, very relevant to everything in our lives.
Everything's relevant to connectivity, right?
Right, and that makes my job really interesting because the scope of things I can invest in is really, really large. So Verizon, people don't necessarily know that, is the biggest telematics and fleet management company in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought I knew Verizon.
A few millions of cars today on the road are connected through Verizon globally.
Wow.
We have smart city services. We bought AOL and Yahoo, and we have now what is called Verizon Media.
So a friend of mine was just acquired or works for them. I don't even know what the original.
Yeah. So we have one of the biggest media companies in the world. So we're very active in many, many different. We have an MSSP, so we're selling cybersecurity services.
Why don't you tell me what you're not selling? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so wait. So first of all, I just want to say one thing. I'm trying to be diplomatic here. We started this meeting, kind of saying, let's spend a couple of minutes talking about our differing opinions on worldly things, not necessarily technology. And we ended up spending the entire meeting talking about that stuff. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
Promise?
Yeah.
You don't hate me. Because we're literally polar opposites on the topic we discussed. We're not going to get into it, but literally, usually, it's funny, we usually want to have a meeting, right? So we talk about business, and I'm like, okay, turn on the camera and repeat what we just talked about.
Right.
But we didn't talk business.
No,
so
right.
so I'm going to ask you questions, that I would have asked you in the meeting, because I genuinely don't know.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
So tell me, like, what's your investment thesis / strategy in Israel?
Basically, our team, we have a team on the East Coast, the West Coast, and in Israel. We're the first team out of the US.
Wow, I love it.
And it basically started when I met with the managing director of Verizon Ventures. When I was part of AOL, I invested for AOL in Israel, and I met with the managing director of Verizon Ventures, who also runs M&A. So every non-organic used to be John Doherty, and now Chris Bartlett.
Okay.
And when I met John, he was basically any non-organic dollar comes out through his team, M&A or ventures. And he said, look, we've been trying to invest in Israel for a while, and we haven't been successful in getting into deals. And I sent a team to Israel, and they came back recommending that we put a team on the ground. And I said, look, let me come back to you with some data. And I think it is true. You have to have a team on the ground. Let me explain to you in data, why is that?
Right.
So I came back with a deck with 100 slides, and I said, look, 99 slides I'm not going to go over. It was end of 2016, it was with the results of 2014, 15, which were amazing. And I said, what you're going to see is like you absolutely have to invest in Israel.
Right.
But I'm going to talk about two slides. One of data and one not. What I showed them in data is that in 2015, 86% of the money invested here in startups was foreign.
Wow.
Only
86.
14% was Israeli. But if you look at number of deals, Israeli investors were part of 52% of the deals, meaning
bigger money globally.
And then I showed him like a pyramid that shows from seed to whatever, E round, how in the seed and A stage, predominantly the investors are Israelis. So if you want to invest, like Verizon Ventures, in B or C rounds, you have to know the Israeli investors because they source the deals.
Right.
And then I showed him a non-data slide and said, look, you know how the world is 6 degrees of separation? Israel ecosystem is 1.
Right.
I know everyone.
Right.
Everyone knows me, and that's the way this ecosystem
And that means
works.
you can get a daddy deal. Right.
If you're like Dave from San Francisco or New Jersey, which is where our headquarters is, and you call a company, an amazing company, and say, hey, I'm from Verizon Ventures and I want to invest in you, and this deal is oversubscribed because this is an amazing market and the good deals are oversubscribed, you'll be the last in line to get into the deal.
But if Merav comes...
But if, I don't know, someone in Israel that they know, that they've worked with, that they can research, then there's more chance to get into the deal.
100%.
And I got out of this meeting with a new title.
Yeah, I love it.
So I said, yeah, well, okay, so why don't we take your team and just, it's going to become a Verizon Ventures Israel team. And
love it.
Let's go. And that's how it's all started.
How many investments have you made to date?
So we've made 7 new investments.
Wow.
And we invested follow-ons in companies we invested previously with AOL.
Any companies that I heard of?
Optibus, sure. I'm sure you heard of.
Ryan,
Iguazio.
what's the CEO's name? Optibus? I met with him. I don't remember his name.
Amos
with an M. What's his last name?
Hajjaj.
Yeah. Crazy company, by the way.
Amazing company.
They're scaling.
Amazing team, amazing company.
Targeting municipalities there, yeah?
They're targeting municipalities and bus operators, basically solving apparently all bus companies in the world, they plan their routes and resources manually.
Yeah.
So they're solving a real problem for old school companies, which is always cool.
Well, crazy. I was blown away by them. Oh, who else? What other companies?
And by the way, their algorithms can be used to so many other planning
applications.
Applications that are relevant to us.
Yeah.
We invested in Iguazio, which is basically revolutionizing big data analytics.
Wow.
Infrastructure, solving a huge issue that today every data is stored in a different database, and when you want to query it, you have to ETL the data to a different place, and then you have to block the database. And so making real-time analytics continuously is literally impossible when you're
all fragmented.
Yeah, unless you're in memory. So they're solving that issue. Amazing team. Team came from Extreme.io and Mellanox.
Nice. Buzzword nowadays, Mellanox.
Yeah. So.
Love it. So 7 investments.
Yeah.
And check size, what's the range?
So Verizon Ventures typically invest between, most of our checks are between 2 and 8 million, but we've done much more when it's very, very strategic. Even in Israel, we've done more. So we really care about the strategic fit, and even that is, as you can imagine, a spectrum of things. But
amazing. Listen, first of all, I'm going to let you go because I also have to go to my next meeting. I'm sure this is like, I'm telling you, I thoroughly enjoyed this meeting. I didn't think it was going to go in this direction, but we have to have another meeting because there's a lot of things we have to talk about. But let me just ask you one question, and we can, if you don't want to talk about it on camera, we'll edit this part out. But what would you say is your challenge, your primary challenge today at Verizon?
I think being a CVC, like a corporate venture capital, has a lot of advantages. First of all, you don't have to raise a fund.
Right.
Which is always easier.
Right.
Even though, every time there's a chain of management, you need to explain again, why do we need this?
Right.
But
I never thought about that.
But
actually.
you don't have to raise a fund.
Right.
And plus, what I really love about being part of a corporate is that I get validation at the get-go, right? Like I look at a company and I go to business and I said, this is what we think the future is going to look like, or this is an issue that we're dealing with today, and this is going to solve us a problem, it's going to save us money. And so I invest in something I kind of pre-validate, which is really, really nice. I think the challenge always with corporates, especially corporates at the size of Verizon with like over 100,000 employees, is that people leave and they, come and go, and you can have a team fully committed to a startup and then
disappears.
They leave, they disappear, and then, just promoting work done with the startup can be really, really tough. I think our team is well structured to mitigate some of those issues. We have a internal business development team inside the Verizon Ventures team to just work on those issues, which helps mitigate, especially if you're in remote location, and most of the company sits in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. So we have a team there, which really, really helps. But that's always, I think, the biggest challenge of like corporate venture.
Okay, listen, my ask from you is a meeting 2.0.
Oh, absolutely.
We're gonna do it again. Next time, yeah, seriously. No, but listen, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Like, if there's anything I can do to help in any way, we'll talk about it next time, because I'm sure there are things I can help with that we didn't even think about. But tell our next time if there's something that pops into your head that you think maybe I can help with, whether it's I don't know, you need help. I don't even know if you guys do press. I imagine it's the whole corporate thing and corporate comms and all that, so maybe press isn't relevant, but like, I don't know, raising the awareness and the profile of Verizon Ventures and the ecosystem here, you know? There's different things we can talk about. We'll discuss it at our next meeting. Either way, I really did enjoy the meeting, and I hope we'll remain friends, even heated discussion. But no, really, I appreciate your time, and you let me know what I can help.
Heated, but like civilized.
Yeah, civil, yeah, of course. No, because over the years, like, you know, you see my Facebook posts, I see your Facebook posts, clearly very opposed with certain topics, and I like that we got it, put it on the table. I do like it.
We had to.
No, first of all, I appreciate it. You know, generally, it's like you don't talk about that stuff in a business environment, but I'm glad we did because it was, like you said, very civil and very civilized.
We're both the team.
Right, and we're both passionate about Israel. That's what it comes from. Both of our opinions come from passion for Israel, just we apply it differently.
Right.
But it comes from a good place, a pure place in both our instances.
I agree.
All right, Merav, thank you very, very much for your time. I'm looking forward to our next one.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm meeting with the Kardashians of the Jewish world. I think that's like a great description. Who are you guys?
Donna Brody, Leah Brody, Limor Brody.
And where's the last Brody?
Joey.
The Brody Bunch. By the way, I love that you wrote that. Is that a thing? You write that all?
Yeah,
the Brody Bunch?
The Brody Bunch was first, now it's
That's great, that's great. Wait, so real quick, what do you do? What do you guys do? What's your story?
I'm a lawyer and an Israeli activist. I'm an occupational therapist. I'm a nurse, White Mikalia.
You guys are like legit like making an impact on this world.
I'm just a dude.
Just a dude who's gonna come over for Shabbos.
Yes.
Love it.
In 3 weeks, we met her.
Love it. All right, let's go do lunch at Meat Toast. How are you, bro?
What's going on?
Fancy running into you here on Rothschild Boulevard.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Who are you here to interview today?
I was with Dan Singer from Startup.
I love him. By the way.
Yeah, hopefully he's going to be speaking at the next Israel Ad Tech.
Wow, beautiful. How's everything?
Thank God.
Who are you?
Ellie Mandelbaum.
You've been on the vlog a couple of times?
A couple of times I've been.
We did a podcast together.
Yeah.
We know each other for 100 years.
Exactly.
Your brother's a legend.
Can't beat today in Tel Aviv, huh?
Beautiful, right?
It's gorgeous.
Amazing. Turning this thing off so we can schmooze. The man himself.
This is where he dropped.
My very, very righteous holy brother, Eric Reiner from By the way, who came up with the name Sinai VC?
Both me and my partner were born in Sinai hospitals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I was all like, it's all about.
There's other more
Mount
spiritual
Sinai,
reasons,
spiritual.
but yeah.
You just disappointed me. What's going on, man? How's life?
All good.
What are you up to nowadays? You're doing all kinds of stuff.
Investing in New York, LA, Latin America, hopefully more in Israel.
Falling in love with this country.
Falling in love with this country every time I'm here.
All right, so you're here.
Do I look at the camera or do I look at you?
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
What's better looking, me or the camera?
Both. It's a pretty one, by the way.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You, in addition to investing, because you're a full-blown VC, you're doing some incredible deals, you also have this bracelet that you gave me. Talk to me about that.
So Lashon Hara Lo Medaber Elai. I have 2 on right now. So this is a movement to try to get people to stop speaking about other people in a negative way. Very, very, very important thing that both transforms you as a person and also transforms other people around you. We say that speaking about other people actually in a way enslaves them, which is very relevant to the Pesach time. And yeah, don't speak bad about other people.
When did you become so spiritual?
College.
Because you didn't grow up religious.
0.
What happened in college?
Just Israel and meeting amazing people like you.
I feel like we got to explore this. I'm very curious about this process.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, this was cool, good spontaneous. Next time you forgot to pick up something, we don't talk about that. There are kids watching. We don't talk about that. But bottom line is, you're doing amazing stuff. Anything, you know this. You don't even have to say it because it's so obvious to you. But if there's ever anything I can do to help you in any way, shape, or form, it would be a privilege and an honor. You know that, right? Oh yeah, well, hug it out, baby. On. Oh, look at that man love. I love it, man. All right, we're gonna end the day here. See you all tomorrow.